You said your last goodbye. I died a little bit inside. I lay in tears and yet all night, alone without you by my side. But if you loved me, why did you leave me? Take my body, take my body. All I want is, and all I need is to find somebody, I'll find somebody. Depth over distance every time I deal. A mystery of ours may grow cold in the woods, but it's the roots that will bind us here to grow. Depth over distance is all I ask of you. And I may be foolish to fall as I do.
So in high school, I thought I was on top of the world. I had everything that any girl would want. I was good at school. I was doing well in sports. I was part of every social circle, and I had an amazing boyfriend. And I put all of my happiness in him. And unfortunately, because I put all my happiness in him, when he left, so did my happiness. And instantly, everything just started to disappear. Everything went down the drain. I lost my good grades. I didn't want to hang out with anyone, so I lost all my good friends. I just didn't know what to do. I felt so lost, I felt so lonely, and I felt so scared. And I just started to actually go numb because it was easier to just avoid the pain rather than dealing with it. And pretty quickly I went to a party and I experimented with some drugs. And it seemed really innocent at first. It was actually really fun. We just got high off of marijuana and just danced and had a good time and we laughed and it felt really innocent. And then eventually I would just keep smoking weed every day until it just didn't do anything for me anymore. And the effect of that high just wore off and I felt like I needed something more. I needed something deeper to like give me an escape to escape my reality. So then I started turning to other drugs. I tried other things like salvia and mushrooms and eventually until I got into cocaine. And I became heavily addicted to the point where it wasn't just a recreational, let's do it at a party thing. It was every day in my room, as you saw in the video, because I just couldn't stand to face the pain and the turmoil of my life. I needed to escape my life and my reality. And that was all as a result of losing something that I thought I needed, which was a guy. So fortunately, I decided one day that I don't want to live like that anymore. And changing my life started today, not tomorrow. And so I decided that I'm going to change my life, that I'm not going to use this thing anymore. I'm not going to use drugs. I'm not going to escape. I'm just going to deal with my pain, deal with my life. And it was the best decision I ever made. So I chose to overcome my addiction. What are you going to choose?
I didn't know what it was to understand what love was. I came to school and I didn't understand why kids were so happy all the time, why everyone just seemed to like have so much fun. When I came home, I saw nothing but destruction, and I just became depressed, and my bruises weren't going away. I constantly was just getting hated on by my family. Eventually I decided to put the mask on and go to a party and act like everything was okay. For a short period of time that worked, and I had a little glimpse of happiness at the party. Then I realized that that wasn't enough, and I found something even better. So today I'm choosing to overcome that abuse. I'm choosing to step out of the depression. I'm choosing to be happy. I know there's more for my life. I chose to overcome abuse. What do you choose?
I grew up in a home where my dad was always working. We'd be gone for weeks and I wouldn't see him. My mom and my brother would be busy, filled with their lives, and yet I was stuck in the middle, and I just wanted to belong, and I wanted to feel loved. And so I went to that party. I went to feel loved and to find a place where I could belong with my friends and with the girls. And then I met this guy, and I knew I could fulfill his satisfaction and his pleasure of being loved. But then he would also love me. And then after committing the act of sex, I got together with my girls again, and it was the life, and it was the party, and I just wanted to belong by them. And afterwards, I didn't realize the consequence of being pregnant and what it meant to be pregnant afterwards, and the questions that went through my head of what is it going to look like? I'm just a kid. How am I supposed to raise a kid myself? What does it mean? What's my life going to look like? What's going to change? How am I going to tell my parents? How am I going to tell the friends that I just felt like I belonged to them now? And what is my life going to look like? Am I going to be alone again? And I chose sex. What are you going to choose?
Hey guys, so now we're going to do a drawing. This is going to be about a girl who puts on different masks to try and fit into her situation and tries to cover up her true self. Enjoy.
joy in life to fit in and to belong. But
But what happens is that she's just putting on a mask that's not herself, and she's not belonging. And there's this guy that comes into her life, and he brings her and allows her to see her true self and what she's actually made for. And I relate to this myself. I put on the mask of trying to belong and trying to fit in. And when I was in high school, I would leave my house, and as soon as I got to school, I would put on this mask of trying to belong to my friends and of doing things that they wanted me to do so that I would fit in and that I would feel okay and I would feel accepted by my own friends. But when I left school, that mask would come off and I would put on what my parents wanted me to be. So today I'm asking you, what are you choosing to put on? What is the mask that you are wearing? And are you willing to let go of it?
Who escolhi ser valentão? I chose bullying.
Eu escolhi outra motivação. I chose self-confidence.
Eu escolhi a Francia. I chose appearance.
Eu escolhi a superar.
Eu escolhi superstar abuso. I chose to overcome abuse.
Eu escolhi sexo. I chose sex.
Você tem uma escolha. You have a choice. Você não seu circunstância. You are not your circumstance.
Okay, você vai escolher. What will you choose? Then the translator comes up and says, did you guys enjoy this presentation? Blah, blah, blah. Great. Okay, well, they're also going to be in the church tonight. Come check us out. We would love to see you guys there. They'll be doing something